Alan Brogan sent in. McManaman dodging. McManaman scoring!
Yes, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. Kilkenny have done it yet again. They are back in another All-Ireland final, their first in 3 years, after beating Limerick by a point at Croke Park. A really surprising result in many ways. I don't think anyone really fancied Kilkenny that much. We all know that Kilkenny are a team that this year in particular just never seems to give up. But I think in general, the majority of pundits and fans alike really did feel that Limerick would have the edge over Kilkenny. You know, in particular, looking at the players they can bring off the bench, the fact that Kilkenny, at times defensively can be exploited. And Limerick are very good in terms of creating goal chances and scoring goals. But today's game, it definitely sprung up a lot of surprises, a lot of things we actually haven't seen from either team this year. And it definitely went against what a lot of people had predicted, including myself. You know, Kilkenny have been relatively slow starters at times in the championship this year. But in this game versus Limerick, they went full, they just went for it, absolutely went for it from the first whistle. And yeah, guys, of course, first of all, if you are new around here, do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this out to absolutely everyone. And yeah, guys, of course, we are here to do the match reaction. So let's dive straight into it. Kilkenny, they started the brighter team. They were at it from the opening, 5 to 10 minutes. Limerick definitely looked, lacking match sharpness. It's been 4 weeks since their victory over Tipperary, and it was definitely the opening 20 to 25 minutes that cost Limerick, in my opinion, because, Kilkenny were just relentless. The press, the pressure they placed on Limerick, high up, kind of, it reminded me very similarly the way they pressed, almost the way you see it in soccer at times, like the way Liverpool do, or those kind of teams. The press they done on some of Limerick's players at times was just absolutely unbelievable. And then defensively as well, they cut out a lot of Limerick's top players, the likes of Peter Casey, for example, Gearoid Hegarty. And Kilkenny were very good at stopping those Limerick forwards from really doing a job. And in particular for Kilkenny's defence, you have to look at Hugh Lawler. He was absolutely outstanding. I think Joey Holden had a great game as well for Kilkenny. And all around, Kilkenny just started much brighter. They were way more up for it. And in particular, when you're getting goals on the score sheet as well, that generally always helps. And in particular, Colin Fennelly was absolutely outstanding in this game as well. His energy at times, the way he was driving at players, beating players, hitting points over the bar, and the tenacity as well to score that goal to put Kilkenny, I think 9 points up at that stage, or if not shortly after. Kilkenny were just far more better in the first half, and Limerick just looked shell-shocked. It was the first time we've really seen a Limerick, this Limerick team, obviously since winning the All-Ireland, and even going back since the entire game of last year, just really rattled. They didn't quite know what to do. And they certainly didn't perform in that first half. Their composure in front of goal at times as well was really poor, in my opinion. And just a lot of their standout players, Tom Morrissey, Kyle Hayes, just didn't quite live up to it in that first half. Aaron Gillane, I thought, had a very good first half at times for Limerick. He still did miss a few opportunities, and still, by his standards, probably wasn't his best game. But I did think he was probably the best performer for Limerick in that first half. Dermot Burns, I thought, was pretty decent as well in the second half. But certainly getting that goal right before half time, Limerick just started clawing the lead back a little bit. And Kilkenny in the second half certainly didn't quite have that same energy. They did, towards the end of the game, they rallied quite a bit. But Limerick just weren't giving up in this game. They just, kept on kind of chipping away at that lead. But any time it got to like 1 point or 2 points, Kilkenny would just seem to pull away. And Limerick, where they really lost this game was their lack of composure in front of goal. Far too many wides. At times in possession as well, they were quite poor. And even though they did get that goal late on from Shane Dowling, it didn't quite make a difference in the end. Limerick, they pushed late on. Of course, they had a sideline chance, which the Sunday Game pointed out rightly should have been a 45 or 65. A hit off one of the Kilkenny's hurls as the ball went out. So harsh in that in some ways, but I think in the overall picture of things, sometimes in sport and sometimes in hurling in general, you know, you're gonna get these decisions, and some days you won't get the decisions. I don't think you can really narrow down the defeat just to that, but certainly for Limerick going forward, you know, into next year, they might want to, you know, have a look at this. I think, you know, one thing about Limerick this year is they have had a couple of off days, a few disappointing performances. This was their third defeat in total in the championship this year, and obviously losing, you know, when it most matters, especially, you know, in an All-Ireland semi-final. But just tactically, the way Kilkenny played, and the way they, you know, out-taught Limerick a lot of the time, and even in the closing stages as well. You know, one big difference was, you know, Limerick had more scoring opportunities in that second half, but Kilkenny were just far more clinical. TJ Reid, of course, man of the match, hit 8 points from frees. His link-up play at times was absolutely fantastic. You know, his composure on the ball, his short passes, his long passes as well. Just all round very great game by TJ Reid. And Kilkenny just had that bit too much in the end. And I think, you know, this could be, in my opinion, guys, like a game we look back on in 3 or 4 years' time where, you know, we're talking about the continuing domination of Kilkenny. You know, this could be the start of the, you know, re-emerging dominance of this Kilkenny side. You know, you think about if Kilkenny lost Limerick, you know, you probably feel like Limerick would probably go on to win the All-Ireland, you know, depending on what happens, obviously. But it would have been like Limerick are the dominating team, Limerick are the team to beat. But now it looks like Kilkenny might just be able to claw that back. And, you know, with this young team and players that they've brought through, like Billy Ryan, Adrian Mullen as well, you know, Kilkenny could very well be onto something special and could really start to dominate the All-Ireland scene once again. Huge credit to Brian Cody. Tactically, he did his homework. He's seen that Limerick are very quick when they get the ball, and they like to, you know, very much hit it in towards that full forward line. And they're, you know, one thing about this Limerick side as well is the hand pass is very much used a lot of the time from this Limerick side. And Kilkenny, you know, they done their homework. They cut that out very quickly. Defensively, they're absolutely fantastic. I know they conceded 2 goals, but I think, you know, one of them was a penalty, obviously, which was a little bit harsh in some ways, in my opinion. I don't really think it was a penalty. But they done their homework and they cut Limerick down in the, you know, in the ways that Limerick are most hurtful to teams. And in the end, Kilkenny march on to that All-Ireland final. And, you know, it's going to be some game. Depends on, you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow between Wexford and Tipperary. But huge win for Kilkenny. But anyway, guys, I am going to end the video here. Do let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this game. It was some game. And yeah, lads, my name is Aaron, and I will catch you all next time.